I have many friends who run complicated Zooms like this, and they need a separate squad than the host to run the technical side of it.
Thank you. Thank you for figuring that out.
No worries.
So anyway, here's a song for you.
These are awesome.
My grandpa was a grifter, a gambler and a heel. He snuck around from town to town and he dealt a dirty deal. He went out in the wild world to steal what he could steal. You know, he stole a fortune, but the money wasn't real. No, the money wasn't real. Funny how it is, you know, now the money wasn't real. He set out as a bandit, he came back empty-handed. He should have been a rich man, but the money wasn't real. Now the Pharaoh was a miser, his story has been told. He had 10,000 workers build a pyramid to hold all his statues and his trappings and his caskets and his gold. You know, he wanted to have everything, but all he got was old. Oh, none of it was real. Funny how it is, you know, now none of it was real. His monument so grand just kept covered up by sand. Now he's just another mummy, man, 'cause none of it was real. Now a poor man buys a loaf of bread, he shares it and it's gone. A rich man wrecks his portion, yet his wealth keeps rolling on. And the good things that you've said and done are nothing you can pawn. 'Cause when you're in the underclass, you're always overdrawn. 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know, now the money isn't real. You can follow all the rules made by idiots for fools, and you think you'll get your just reward, but you won't. Oh, you won't pick up a penny, or you might spare a dime. A dollar buys a pretty meager way to waste your time. A C-note get you groceries, and a grand might buy a thrill. You might rake in a shitload and still not get your fill. I live in America, a country built on greed, and I suppose that's not a bad thing if you just take what you need. But it seems everyone's afflicted by a hunger to exceed. Why should one man have a billion when there's a million mouths to feed? 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know, now the money isn't real. You can burn it, you can earn it, but in the end you'll learn it all amounts to nothing. Yes, it's funny how it all amounts to nothing. So funny how it all amounts to nothing, 'cause the money isn't. That's The Money Isn't Real. This is a commentary on the socio-economic zeitgeist. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Excellent.
There you go. This is a tune from a suite of songs that I wrote right around the turn of the century, by which I mean the turn of this century, not the turn of the one before it. I was still a baby back then, not writing songs quite yet. And this song is about a prospector whose prospects were running dry, and he decided he was tired of panning for gold and wandering the hot and dusty desert. So he starts to dream about a better way to make his money. This tune is can be found on my album, which is called Salt for Silver. Rattlesnake waits in the shadow of a rock. Field mouse ride from the highs of a hawk. Cactus stands like a statue of a man. Him and me and my horse named Dan on a dusty road. Indian watching from a switchback ridge. Ghost riders running up a cloudy bridge. Twilight stealing in a corner of the sky. Riding along thinking by and by I'll put down my load. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. There's a ghost town down where the creek ran dry, buzzards circled in the hard blue sky, dusty old bar, empty bottles on the shelf, piano in a corner that plays itself. It's a spooky sound. I hitched my horse to an old fence rail, fetched up water in a leaky pail. Gonna get out of town before the daylight fails. I don't wanna stick around. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, with a moonlight palomino I can ride. Jackrabbit runs from the scattering stones, blackbird cries to rattle your bones, cow skull laying by a watering hole. Don't drink there, you'll lose your soul to the burning sun. I left my home and I can't go back, wildflower growing in a wagon wheel track, dry wind coming down from the hills, looking for a place a waterfall spills when the day is done. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. That's the Moonlight Palomino. Alrighty, this next tune is, I used to play in a band called the Central Park Sheiks. We were the Eastern Kings of Western Swing. That was back in the 70s. And I wrote most of the songs for the band. And this was a tune I wrote for them. We usually played kind of country blues and country jazz and Western swing, which, if you don't know, is a beautiful kind of all-American music. So I would provide the original songs for our band. And this tune is called Monkeytonk Waltz. Blackbird sitting on a fence post, laughing like he knows some kind of joke. I fail to see what's so funny. My whole world just went up in smoke. Won't you let me in on the joke? Scarecrow dancing in a cornfield, dancing while the wind blows him around. Sometimes I feel like that scarecrow, watching over my dry patch of ground, while the wind just blows me around. There's a strange kind of music in the branches of the trees, like a song on a broken guitar. And those crows on a fence don't make any more sense than some crazy fools in a bar who sing a broke down honky-tonk waltz, a broke down honky-tonk waltz. Blackbird flies over to the scarecrow. It doesn't doesn't scare him a bit. He just sits on his shoulder to mock him and laughs at his own senseless wit. That scarecrow doesn't scare him a bit. There's a strange melody that hangs in the breeze, like a calliope gone out of tune. And those crows sing a song that's all busted and wrong by the cold light of the old crooked moon. They sing a broke down honky-tonk waltz, broke down honky-tonk waltz, a broke down honky-tonk waltz. That's the honky-tonk waltz. This next tune is, I guess it's an homage to Bob Dylan. I don't guess it's an homage to Bob Dylan. It is exactly what it is. It's a homage to Bob Dylan. I discovered one day that Bob Dylan was not only a songwriter, but an artist. And you've probably seen his paintings. He did a few of them from the covers of his albums. But what people don't know is that he liked to make these giant sculptures out of found pieces of metal, old wrecked cars and things like that, refrigerators, and weld them together. And when I first saw some of his work, I liked it. It kind of reminded me of Pablo Picasso's sculptings, if you know what they looked like. But it struck me that that's kind of the way he writes his songs. You know, you found stuff. You pick up this, that, and pick up that over there, and zoop, stick it together over here, and that's his song. So it led me to write this song, which is also to be found at Bandcamp on my Bandcamp channel. Salt for Silver. Title of the album is Salt for Silver. Title of the song is Salt for Silver. And it's with all due respects to Mr. Dylan. I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies are things that I've made. I've woven them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I'll give you salt for silver, lest you offer gold. Gonna build a big machine, a mechanical collage. Gonna build it in the workshop in the back of my garage. It's gonna be a wild contraption made of cogs and wheels and gears and discarded bits of everything I've gathered through the years. And when it gets to rolling, it's gonna make an awesome sound, like thunder in the mountains or an earthquake underground. When I'm done, they're gonna ask me, Bob, just what does that thing do? And I will turn around and ask them, man, what's it do for you? I'm gonna write a crazy song, don't know what it's gonna mean. Might be plain, might be a puzzle, might be something in between. Gonna populate the verses with people from my dreams. It might point to something deep, or maybe just be what it seems. Oh, and when I get to singing it, it's gonna make an awful noise. And I really can't be bothered by the folks my voice annoys. When I'm done, they're gonna beg me, please explain that thing to me. And I will turn around and tell them, man, it's nothing you can't see. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in a Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their backs. I'm going to write an epic novel, a mountain range of prose, Might turn the tide of history or turn all my friends to foes. It's gonna be a wild concoction made of thoughts and words and prayers. There might be nothing underneath when you peel away the layers. Oh, if I fail in that ambition, I'm gonna put away my pen, put on ordinary clothes and go and walk the world of men. Gonna look in all their faces at the stories in their eyes, in the hopes that all the misery I see there makes me wise. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their backs, who got waylaid in the city by the beatniks and the clowns, and the grief that always comes to you from mixing ups and downs, who tried his hand at Jesus and then suffered a relapse and had to rebuild his ideas from all these bits and scraps. I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. There you go. It's a homage to Bob Dylan.
Very nice. Very nice.
Salt for silver. 1 second, folks. I'm preparing another song here for you.
Did you see that the next person will be, you're in the East Coast, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. So the next person will be playing at 9 o'clock. Can you do another 25 minutes or?
I can do whatever you want me to. It's like
Okay.
the bad comedian says, I got a million of them.
Okay. If you don't mind, then yeah, that'd be.
So what a thrill it is to have a chance to unwind. I've been, COVID has had me stuck here in this house for slugging a year, and you're a nice bunch of people. So this is my music, and
Okay.
you like my music. I really appreciate that. And I'd like to remind any of you that are tuning in now, it looks like there's a core group of people here. So you all know, but the proceeds of this event go to the Bay Area Cancer.
Bay Area Cancer Connections.
But yes.
I'm back, by the way.
And as a guy that's gone through and going through that thing myself, I will tell you that that's appreciated, that you're pulling funds together for that. And let's see, here we go. This is a song that's actually, I've lived in this Brooklyn neighborhood for many, many, many years. And originally it was an Italian neighborhood, predominantly Italian neighborhood. And which suited me just fine. My wife is Sicilian and I'm Irish. So that's, that's whatever that is. And then slowly, actually not so slowly, the Han Chinese came and bought all the buildings in the neighborhood, filled up the buildings with their families. And then, mind you, I'm fine with Chinese people. I grew up doing Tai Chi and reading the Chinese philosophers. And I even read the message in the cookie, and then I eat the cookie. And that shows you exactly what a devoted scholar of Chinese I am. So I had to find a way to not be mad at these people. So I wrote this song, and this is called Water Everywhere. And it's about how people just have to live. Our old Italian neighborhood has turned Chinese, maybe for good. Water, water everywhere. The ghetto has been gentrified. The first folks have been pushed aside. Doesn't matter if it's fair. It's the same thing everywhere. The Indians that once lived here, they made their trade in hunting deer. Water, water everywhere. They made a bargain with the Dutch that really didn't leave them much, but the Dutchmen didn't care. It's the same thing everywhere. Now the hippies have all moved upstate. The hipsters came to take their place. Maybe the only difference is the hair. And the little shops you could afford to shop in once, they now are boarded. But the building owners, they don't care. It's the same thing everywhere. Well, the water just goes where it will. You know it always flows downhill. Rivers running everywhere. And who are you and I, the kid? It just does what it always did. Just goes where it's meant to be. Flowing till it finds the sea. Water, water everywhere. Now the music clubs have all shut down. New York is a rich man's town. Doesn't matter if it's fair. And the only music that remains is while you're waiting for the trains. You can tip them if you care. So much free music everywhere. Well, the money just goes where it must. It's all about the boom or bust. Buddy, have you got a dime to spare? Who are you and I, the kid? It settles for the lowest bid. The bottom line is where it goes. That's just the way the money flows. Doesn't matter if it's fair. Now in my new Chinese neighborhood, the people that I meet are good. It's the same thing everywhere. No matter where they come from, friend, they're only people in the end. It's not their fault they had to settle there. People, people, people everywhere. People trying just to be everywhere like you and me, like water flowing to the sea, going where we're meant to be. Water, 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 water everywhere. And that's apologies to Samuel Coleridge. Ooh, some spooky stuff going on over in the corner of the screen there. I hope you're enjoying my songs. You can find me on YouTube. My Bert Lee channel is on YouTube, and it's got pretty nice recordings of a lot of my songs. And I've made a lot of albums over the years, and the recorded stuff can be found at Bandcamp, bertlee.bandcamp.com, and that's how that works. And I've been asked to play a little bit more. So in the last 3 years, I've been writing books, novels, and because I'd put it off for too long and it was time to do it. And my grandfather is a muse for me. He's a muse for me. He's an interesting character. As I said earlier, he came over to America when he was 12 years old during the Civil War. I'm not talking about my great-grandfather, talking about my grandfather. And the way that works is he didn't marry my grandmother till he was in his 60s, and hence I get to be that far away from him in time. I wrote a book called Dead Man's Coat, which you can find at Amazon, about his life. And he was a runaway boy from Ireland, and this song is about him running away from Ireland. I left my shoes in Dublin. I borrowed a dead man's coat. I left it all behind me and I stowed onto a boat. I left it all behind me to be swallowed up by time. If they ever come and find me, may they pardon me my crime. They say I killed my father, but I only stole his name. He was murdered by a bottle, but I'll gladly share the blame. Murdered by a bottle, and maybe death has set him free. Now if I could only lose his ghost that stowed away in me. His ghost is in my mirror. His ghost is in my mind. It's living underneath my skin, and it won't be left behind. I tried my best to kill it, but the damn thing never dies. It stands so hard above me with whiskey in its eyes. My confession, for whatever it is worth. I'm haunted by my father, just like every man on earth. I'm haunted by my father, like every ordinary Jake. He stands so hard above me, like a storm about to break. I'm sailing to America just to find what might be found. I'll throw these memories overboard and I pray that they stay drowned. Throw this baggage overboard to be swallowed by the sea. Now if I could only lose this ghost that's stowed away in me. I left my shoes in Dublin, borrowed a dead man's coat. I left it all behind me and I stowed onto a boat. I left it all behind me to be swallowed up by time. And if they ever come and find me, may they pardon me my crime. Thank you, Prince. Thank you. Glad you're.
Very nice.
It's hard for me to make the mathematical connection in my mind. Just let me know when I have a song left to do, okay?
You have another 12 minutes.
Another 12 minutes, okay. I'm going to do an abbreviated version of Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. This is a song I wrote coming back from Florida to live in Brooklyn. Spent a number of useless years living in Key West, Florida. And my wife beckoned me back to the home we have in Brooklyn. And so I wrote this song on the train coming home. It's called Northbound Train. Riding on a northbound train, leave the south behind, rolling through the blue-gray dawn, and I feel the past unwind. Hills and valleys, streets and alleys, little towns all in a row. People I may never meet, and places I may never go. Sometimes I feel just like a gambler, watch my fortunes break, or just like some weary rambler, wondering which fork to take. Got my backpack and my guitar, pocket change to pay my way. I bought myself a one-way fare. I'm going home, and there I'll stay. Living up to what I said I'd do. Girl, you know I'm coming home to you. Play some changes while I'm rolling, looking for the words to find. Take my rhythm from the train tracks, and I wonder what the muse will bring. Fellow travelers in this night car, asking me what songs I play. They sometimes strike a harmony as we pass the rattling miles away. Living up to what I said I'd do. Girl, you know I'm coming home to you. Giving up the games I tried to play. Coming home to you, and there I'll stay. Riding on an Northbound Train. That's Northbound Train. Something funny for you. I wrote this song back in 1979, I guess it was, when I was about 2.5 years old. And, it's called The Blue Hotel. The bellhop, he don't jump to do the chores. The elevator man's getting drunk at the Blue Hotel. At the Blue Hotel. Stay there overnight, they are bound to treat us right. You're always welcome at the Blue Hotel. The upstairs maid's got something going on the side. The house dick, he's been known to take a bribe at the Blue Hotel. Bring along your aunt, meet me by the potted plant in the lobby of the Blue Hotel. Or when you step down and dine in our luxurious lounge, you'll get the finest meal that the house can scrounge. The chef is deaf, hear the waitress howl in the kitchen of the Blue Hotel. The house band plays an anonymous bop. They play Savoy and the Bunny Hop. Bus boys in the back room dancing with a mop in the basement of the Blue Hotel. Ring that bell if you want to call the clerk. Knock on the desk if the bell don't work at the Blue Hotel. Stay there overnight, they are bound to treat us right. You're always welcome at the Blue Hotel. The desk clerk's name is Grit Pipe Thin, and he checks you out as he checks you in. He writes your name with a pen on a chain. As he does this thing, you check out the terrain. You see Slippery Sylvester and his sinister mob hanging out in the shadows that lurk in the hall. The eyeballs are moving in a portrait on the wall in the foyer, and way up in the corner by the dusty curtain lining, there's a fat black spider dining. The picture isn't nice. There are poker-playing mice behind the baseboards of the Blue Hotel. Ring that bell if you want to call the clerk. Knock on the desk if the bell don't work at the Blue Hotel. Bring along your aunt, meet me by the potted plant in the lobby of the Blue Hotel. When you step in off the street, you'll find the service so discreet. You're always welcome at the Blue Hotel. I thank you. I thank you so much for being such
Awesome.
a pleasant audience. And I send it back to John Ryback. Thank you for inviting me, John. Thank you so much.
Send it back, John Ryback. Thank you for inviting me, John. You're very welcome.
All righty.